What we're looking at is how can we educate the public to be better donors. Now, you're dead right. If someone's rattling a bucket in front of you and you throw $2 in, you're not going to go and turn on your computer just to make sure that you've got the right organisation. But we're saying that if you're starting to make significant donations, have a look at the register and satisfy yourself that the organisation you're giving money to is using your money appropriately.
But that's the point. I've just had a very quick look at it. I can see the income and expenditure, but I can't see the charitable purpose.
Right. And so the next part is that we're saying to charities, you tell a better story on that computer about what it is that you do. I mean, I just spoke to our fundraising institute in New Zealand a month ago, and all these fundraisers there from organisations. I said, how many of you have looked at your entry on our register? And about half the hands went up. And I said, well, that's hopeless, because this is going to be the first port of call for the media or for people who are wanting to make a donation. And if you don't tell a good story about yourself through your accounts or what you're putting onto the register, then don't get upset when people don't want to support you. So our next step is how do we make that information on the register even more useful than what it is now?
Well, given your experience on that, if we moved to a commission, would it be a positive thing for us to say that you must have a statement of charitable purposes and outline the good that you're doing?
I would have thought that would be quite a positive thing to do.
Okay, thanks.
Because people think they're doing good, and sometimes it doesn't hurt to say to them, well, why? Why do you think you're doing? What have you actually done in your community or across the country which actually is good? Because lots of people we see, they have a beef within the organisation, so they go and set up another one, a parallel one. And you look at the number of organisations which are all doing the same thing because they all think they're doing good.
Yeah.
So to actually, I mean, to go down that line is probably a positive thing to do.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garrett. Senator wishes to ask one question, I'm told. If you'd like to go ahead quickly.
Thank you. Mr. Garrett, I've listened to most of your testimony through the TV, but I was wondering, does your regime apply to employee and employer organisations?
You'll have to explain that. Oh, no. Okay. No.
Charities.
Yes, and that's because...
Or indeed, as Senator Stevens has just said, industry associations.
No, because they're member organisations, and I think if you look at our decisions, because we publish all of our decisions, we say that where you're a membership organisation, then the benefits are solely to the members. So we have to look at what happens outside. I'll give you an example. Rotary. Rotary, we couldn't register because they had the lunch club, if you like, and then they did lots of other good things. And we said the lunch club is important, but it's actually member only. It's all private benefit. So what we had Rotary do was to separate out their charitable work, which they put into a charitable trust, and which could be registered, and their member work, which couldn't be registered.
Thank you. So unions and employer organisations and industry associations are not subject to the same regime?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
So you can't use that for new work choices.
Well, thank you then, Mr. Garrett. That's been very useful evidence. And we thank you very much for making a long journey from Wellington to Canberra. So, very good evidence and very interesting. Thank you very much. So I'd now like to call Corney and Lind at Lawyers. We do apologise for the fact we're a little behind time, but that's the way committee hearings go.